Today, I'd like to welcome you all into the men's room, and I'm really excited about what we're going to go into today. We're going to be speaking to how to navigate your identity as a purposeful man. But before we can do that, I want to introduce that I'm Linda Tilson, a men's empowerment advocate from a woman's perspective. And joining me is my co-host, Konrad.
Hi, everyone. My name is Konrad Szeklicki, and I happen to help people reach that next level in life. I do it in a variety of ways, blending the business approach, the business consultancy, the mindset coaching, and hypnotherapy to deliver that smooth experience so that whatever happens in one's life becomes a trampoline to that full life that is so enjoyable, fulfilling, satisfying, and true. And reaching that ease about being oneself is truly one of the greatest gifts that one can give oneself. It might take a moment, however, that journey is so worth it.
Mhm.
And hence why we have paired up with Linda to help people reach that next level in life as soon as possible. And I am delighted that today we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Definitely will. Definitely will. Thank you for having me. My name is Darren McCoy. I go by the self-discovery and purpose navigator, and I help men transform their lives through self-discovery and purpose, so they can live their life more with more meaning and fulfillment, and add a contribution to the world. Well, not just live their life, but live their life where they can add a contribution to the world. And my story is basically, during my life growing up, my family and society, they made it absolutely clear to me that in order to be a man, I had to get a job and provide for my family. And, I was all into it, got married at a young age, had children at a young age, and I was determined I was going to take care of my family, but, it just wasn't as easy as I thought. And I started jumping from job to job. I would work at a restaurant, I would do security work, and then I started working for a cleaning company. And I was doing any job that I can do to help me get ahead. Yet none of these jobs actually gave me what I wanted. I was so frustrated that I would get up every day, go to the job, do the same thing. Now I will work hard, but not receive recognition I felt I deserved, and not moving up as I thought that I should. And I was just not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in a place where money wouldn't be an issue. I wanted to stop robbing Peter to pay Paul. I wanted to take my wife on a honeymoon that we never had, but I wasn't able to do all of this. So it wasn't until I read this quote by Winston Churchill that says, "It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something." And so that sparked me to start getting into reading more books on self-discovery and purpose. And then I took that leap of faith and began posting videos online about self-discovery and purpose. And, slowly people began to tell me that they were inspired by my messages, that my messages were having a positive impact on their lives. And, that felt so amazing to me. And I finally realized what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth, and that's living my purpose. You see, we're not here on this earth just to live our lives for ourselves, but we're here to live our lives with meaning and fulfillment and add a contribution to the world. And the only way we're going to do that is to find out what our gift is, what is the purpose of our lives. And I feel as though that's the mission that I'm on. And that's what I want to help men with in their lives, to find fulfillment and meaning in their lives so they can add a contribution to the world with the purpose that they've been blessed with.
So what I'm hearing, Darren, loud and clear, is that every man has a right to live as a purposeful man. So it's
Exactly.
yes, yes. And with that, I hear about the challenges that you had, the challenges that society, even your family, put on you to, like you said, uh, have a relationship and be responsible for putting the food on the table, to providing for a household, all of those things. And so, well, that's a non-negotiable, that you got to do those things. You want to do it in a way that you feel purposeful about, that you get excited to get up every day and go do that thing that you love. And, you know, a lot of times I find that it's an or, like I can have this or I can have that, instead of I can have this and I can have that. And so that's when you get that purposeful way of living, is when you realize and embrace that you can have both. It's a matter of finding out ways that you can have that. So it all becomes, how can I do this? And what can I have? As opposed to, I don't have this and I can't move forward. I feel stuck. I feel unfulfilled. It's a different mindset that you would place yourself in.
Absolutely. It's like how can I put it? We as men, we all been given duties as men that we're supposed to be doing, but a lot of us are going through what we feel as though society see us as. So it adds more pressure to us that we're trying to fulfill what society wants us to do, what they feel as though we should be as a man, but that's not how it goes and can I say God on this? Yeah,
Yes, you
okay.
can. Yes, you can.
How God sees us. God got standards for us, and He got the standards of where He want us to live as men, as a man, not a male. We're all male, but but He has a standard for man. So so basically to say that our standard is to live according to how He wants us to live, not according to how the word standards are. Because we live by the word standards, all we're going to get is um our downfall. Put it like that. It's really going to be a downfall. When you live according to how He wants you to live, then things will turn out better for you in your life.
And I wonder, right? I wonder what, you know, how you approach it. For me personally, for example, that purpose is partially revealed by our own inner skill set. Those things that we are naturally very good at. Yeah? And it's very unique down to a person. And it goes way more than just things that we do for a living. Yeah, the things that we can contribute with on that societal level of, you know, going to work and doing this, that on the next thing. Because from a certain perspective, this is just like that external layer. This is something that we can do. But who we are is actually, upon some investigation and self-discovery, right, is that gold that people are after in personal development. Know thyself, as it said, is the way forward, right? Salvation comes from within. Once we know ourselves well enough, this is when we know how to leverage our skills, our qualities, our character features to the maximum impact, to be honest. Yeah, this is where also people can seem so memorable, right? When the right person does something that is so natural for them. This is what we would call a genius, or maybe the right person at the right time, doing the right thing. And it can have an immense impact on people's lives when they realize that they also have it. They have that very natural, innate skill set and set of qualities that not only sets them apart from everybody else, making them unique in the first place, but also already is a guiding force when it comes to their own development. Because suddenly those, for example, work options become obvious. Right? If somebody has got, for example, a natural coaching skill set, and at the moment they are working in a biscuit factory, you know, on a production line, well, perhaps they could consider at the very least, right, adjusting their life, adjusting the career, and actually allowing themselves that fullness of experience that can be had once they actually purposefully, meaningfully focus on those things that they are really good at. And from what I've seen, also by working with so many people, is that in many cases, people they might be going for options that might make sense. Oh, if I do this, I will be making money, right? Or if I do that, that seems to be a good kind of job for me at this time. However, time and time again, what I see is that when people start doing what they love, what they are naturally so good at, this is where they reach complete new heights in life, because there is that alignment. There is that divine alignment, and suddenly they get the recognition. They get the authority. People perceive them as having that authority. They seem to know what they are talking about. They seem to know what they are doing. There is an elevated sense of purpose. There is elevated income. There is elevated happiness and fulfillment. And what do you think? What would be, for example, the best way for a person to recognize what their own inner skill set is?
Well, I feel as though I want to share something real quick. Basically, when you're out just trying to discover who you are, we've been all blessed with a gift. We all been blessed. We've all been made for a purpose, and we have a purpose to fulfill. So basically, what you can do is, let's take the bird, for example. Now, a young bird basically is born, his purpose is to fly. But the bird hasn't discovered how to fly yet. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, a man needs to discover his purpose, not to find his purpose. Because I don't always want to, I know a lot of people say, oh, you need to find your purpose. Why try to find something that you already have? You already been blessed with that. You already have a purpose in your life. So why are you trying to find something that you already that's a gift that's been given to you already? See, with the bird hasn't discovered that it can fly. It has wings, it has wings to fly, but once it discovers how to fly, imagine this, the bird can go anywhere it wants in the world. And that's how we got to look at our purpose. Once we discover that purpose and move with purpose and that God has given us, then we can do so much in life that we can, all that we couldn't imagine. So I just wanted to paint that picture for you, because a lot of us saying, oh, we don't have a purpose. No, you do have a purpose. You just haven't discovered what that purpose is. So stop trying to find it and let's try to discover it.
So Darren, I'm listening to that analogy that you gave, that visual illustration of purpose and how you see it. When did you discover that purpose in your journey? When did that pivotal point occur? If you could share a little bit about that so we can have an idea about why you feel so passionately about discovering rather than that traditional finding your purpose.
Well, basically, I started reading books, and I started reading more of the word, and I feel as though I wasn't in alignment with what I was doing, because my favorite book says in Genesis 1:26 that we were created in His image, and I feel as though I wasn't living my life according to the image that He portrayed for he had for me. So basically, I wasn't living my life with purpose. I was just drifting in life. So it wasn't until I started reading books and I started learning more about purpose and self-discovery and who I was. And I felt as though that it was time for me to start living life according to how God sees me, not how the world sees me. Because most people see you as a statistic, or they see you as not a man, not accomplished anything. I mean, as men, we get a bad rap. We really get a bad rap. But I'm saying, His word says we was created in His image. So I want to live according to His standards. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards that. So, I don't want you to feel as though, oh, I have arrived, because I haven't arrived. That this is a journey that you're going on. Basically, we're learning to discover who you are. So once I find out little tips and bits and how different ways I could learn how to discover myself, I felt as though, okay, this is the mission that I need to be on and share with other men how to find out who they are and live their life with meaning and fulfillment.
And I suppose, this would be also a partial answer to that journey that so many people are on, especially these days, right? People want that sense of, well, purpose is a really good word, but there is also this notion of wanting to achieve, to become. Maybe there is a sense of wanting to have a legacy on top of everything else, right? For this life to mean something, not only to themselves, but also when it comes to that, for example, social contribution or family legacy of some sort, to leave the world a better place.
Exactly.
Okay? And so that purpose might have that very personal dimension to it. However, there is also that social dimension too, since we create, co-create those experiences, with other people. The way we are will co-create any and every experience with another person. Therefore, if we stand in the truth, we are inviting other people to also stand in the truth as well. And the more we focus on being the very best version of self, by the very grace of it, we are also inviting other people to do the same. And once we reach that stage when everybody knows their purpose.
And I just want to share one thing. I want to define purpose because I heard a great definition. Because when I was trying to figure out, if somebody was to ask me, well, what is the definition of purpose? And I heard this great definition. It says, purpose is the original intent for the creation of a thing, the reason why a thing exists. So basically, that's saying, that's basically telling me that I do have a purpose, and I just have to discover what that purpose is within me in order to share it with the world. So I it's like I exist for a reason. There's a reason why I'm here. I don't want nobody to feel as though they're not here for a reason, because we're all here for a certain purpose. So it's just to discover what that purpose is. So that excites me, because just thinking about that, it's an awesome thing. It's really an awesome thing.
And that whole question of why am I here? That's what is that message. Why am I here? It floats in our life. It hangs out there. And really, it's about, making a difference, being seen for and acknowledged for making that difference. And I think that the most difficult part, and you could disagree with me, but it's like knowing, where to start in that journey, what things you can do to find or to discover that purpose. And that's I think is the overarching challenge is, well, how do men go about that self-discovery? How do you, Darren, guide them through that process? Because I've heard you say that, through that self-discovery, that you're going down this path of navigation and that you're not there yet because there isn't really an arrival. It's something that is a continuous presence in your life that you are, discovering, and maybe at some points rediscovering. Because I think as humans, we evolve as we go, and that can change. And so getting started, navigating that course that can change and shift and really take on different turns. Would you speak to that for a little bit for us? Because I really want the men to get a real sense of how that looks.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. What is it that makes you feel good? Well, what is it that you like to do? That could be your purpose right there. It might be something what can you do that comes to you naturally? Basically myself, I like just basically sharing what I'm sharing right now with everybody, with all the men. Me speaking about how to find your purpose and your self-discovery. This is something that I like to do, and it excites me. It gives me joy when I do it. So that's another way to find your purpose. Or what is it that's making you mad? You know what I mean? What is it? You may be mad because, or somebody might be. You might have a program out there for kids that have been beaten, or a woman that has been beaten, and you want to start a program like that. You know what I mean? Because something happened, and you experienced your mom probably had been beaten in her life, or your sister probably had been beaten in her life or something like that. But that made you angry in order for you to start something in order to prevent that from ever happening again. So there's different things that you can look at that can help. I mean, there's many more, but I just want to just use those two as an example, for you to understand there's different ways into discovering that purpose. I feel as though I wanted to share another story, but I forgot what it was. But those are like two different ways that you can really discover what your purpose is, and we could dig deeper, and find out more and more different ways that we can help you discover your purpose. But you just gotta think about those things. What is it that you hate that could be your purpose, or what is it that you like to do that could be your purpose? So there's different ways you can that can help you and find out what your purpose is on your life. That could be your starting point right there.
I also, from what I've seen, I'm very passionate about this notion that everything happens for a reason and for our benefit. Therefore, every moment happened for our benefit. Every single moment, every single interaction and word, everything that we've experienced happened for our benefit. Therefore, once we look back at our own life, that very super unique expression of being a human, no two humans are alike, right? Our journey is so unique indeed. Therefore, even by looking back at the journey, we can retro-engineer certain things, join the dots, seeing that, oh, there is a theme, there is a pattern in my life, there is something that keeps on playing, for example, playing out one way or another. Perhaps there is a reason for that. Perhaps I can turn that problem into the solution. Perhaps that, which I felt very heavy about, can propel me to do something about it. Maybe that's domestic violence. I can be a campaigner for more peace, promoting healthy, empowering relationships. Maybe there is another theme in life. But once we start joining those dots, realizing that we are the only person who joins all of those experiences and people we've ever met. A very unique collection of moments, people, places, and so on. It can very beautifully paint that picture of whom we are and what we are here to do. And that can be truly a life-changing moment once it clicks, truly. When a person realizes, oh, I felt so heavy about X, Y, Z, but actually, if I want to see change, I need to be the change.
Exactly.
And that can be a moment of huge personal empowerment. This is the moment when people usually remember really well the turn of a tide, and it changes their life in ways that are miraculous at times. There is this new zest for life instead of heaviness. It can lift people from depression. It can lift people from many other states, addictions and otherwise, because suddenly there is this inspiration, in-spirited action. And this can have transcendental, experience for a person, energetically, emotionally, intellectually, right? People are different in a blink of an eye. And suddenly that anger that was maybe even, projected inwards. Maybe somebody was angry at themselves because they felt that they couldn't, they mustn't, they shouldn't be like that, or do this, or do that. Suddenly that anger is transmuted into motivation for change, for betterment, for everyone, for betterment for oneself, yes, that then shines also outwards and becomes a force for social change. When we feel passionate about something, there is nothing that will stop us. When we feel passionate about something, this is such a great unifying force too. And suddenly we attract those other people. Suddenly God or a higher force starts sending us people and experiences, places, books, videos, podcasts, whatever it might be, And suddenly there is this ever-growing sense of purpose in life. That one is onto something. Suddenly it's worth getting out of bed. There is something that makes every day memorable. Suddenly there is this zest for life again. Something that sometimes people haven't felt for years. And I mean for years. It can be quite easy these days to get distracted by, societal gimmicks, I call them. Those things that we are told to focus on instead of focusing on our own true self. But from a certain perspective, the point of power is within, and the point of power is now. And so, the moment we know our truth, the moment we are in truth, the moment we speak truth, we do truth, we are truth. This is also when we are matched by truth, because it cannot be any other way. That is our resonance. That is our way. And luckily, truth has got such a transcendental energy about it. Truth will set us free. And many of those things, many of those issues, problems that we thought were too heavy, too big, maybe too difficult to deal with, suddenly we stop thinking in terms of analyzing problem after problem after problem. Instead, we start analyzing solution after solution after solution. We tend to shift from problem thinking into solution thinking. And the more we look for solutions, guess what? We start finding them everywhere. Everywhere. And suddenly, we see how we can upgrade our own life and life of other people too, if they wish to experience that, in ways that previously seemed inaccessible, impossible at times. And yet such is divine grace, that when one is at the right time, at the right place, which one always is, by the way, but when one has that sense, that assurance about oneself, being that beacon of truth, this is where true magic begins to happen. And I wonder, what message would you give, Darren, to people who might be feeling lost at this time? How can they discover that new level of truth within?
How can they discover that level of truth? Well, it's like I said before, you have to start making it a contribution to. Actually, you have to make a commitment. Put it like that. You have to make a commitment to say, look, I want to find out, what am I really here to do? What is it that I need to what is it that I need to where can I find out how to discover who I truly am in life? You have to make it like your mission, your journey. It's something that you're really consistent, and you want to be committed and consistent with it. Because once you discover who you are and start that journey, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a daily routine that you need to do on a daily basis. So it's not like you can discover it okay, I discover who I am this week, and I'm gonna work on that. No, this is a consistent journey, because when once you make that commitment and focus on that and can consistently do it, you consistently, what I mean by, once you discover something, you might want to write it in the journal. You might want to start talking to your friends about it. You might want to put it to a meditation, a mindfulness, what's the word? Mindfulness. And it's different ways you can do it, but I feel as though make a commitment that now I want to discover who I am. I want to read the books that are going to help me discover who I am. I want to be consistent in doing it also. So I believe it's consistency, commitment, and consistency that's going to take you to where you got to go. Make it a daily routine, because once you discover who you are, you want to make it a daily routine. Is that you don't want to make it, like I said before, you don't want to just. That's why I say I go by the name of I add to it the self-discovery navigator, and I'm the self-discovery purpose, and I'm the self-discovery discovery and purpose navigator. So because I feel as though this is something that men really need, because it's a continual basis, and you got to continue to learn more and more about who you are, because the more you can do that, the more you can help somebody else out. Like you said earlier, I don't know about you or me, but I feel as though once you decide to help somebody else, it's like a feeling that you never had. You know, you feel so good about, oh, I can really help somebody do this. Whatever, because the gift that we've been given, it's like Christmas time. You give a gift to somebody because you love them, because you cherish them, because you just love helping people. You give them a gift, but you're not going to take the gift back. You understand what I'm saying? So it's saying you giving the gift to somebody, you're giving your gift to somebody, but you're not asking for it back. So the same, once you give a gift is not a gift until you give it away. Put it like that. So once you take your gift and give it away to somebody, it's a feeling that you can. It's an awesome feeling. So this is just something that I really love to talk about. I really like to share, and I see that both of you on the same page with what I'm doing. So that's just what I'm saying. This is a commitment and consistency. Once you learn how to do this, it's a blessing.
We are definitely on the same page in your mission. I see a lot of similarities. And for me, as I'm listening to the two of you talk about the passion that you have to give the gifts, to decide to be committed and consistent, it's all about living in alignment. Once you're living in alignment, the right people, places, things, opportunities will come into your vision, into your space. And when you are doing what you had mentioned, where you are helping another person with your gifts, because we all have gifts. And when we're doing that, and people might be in a different place than we are at the moment, it really provides that advocacy and that inspiration to say, and I can do this too. I can have this too. I can be this. And so all of a sudden, that why I'm here and how I can contribute and how I can move through my life, it's something that happens, and you don't have to like be thinking about it. It happens subconsciously in our actions. And you do feel lighter. You do feel that fulfillment. And it's the best way of living to ever experience. But a lot of times we get in our own way. We listen to those messages that society sends us. We listen to those messages that our friends and family send us. But when we start listening to our own internal messaging and then stepping in and embracing that, we move into alignment, and that's the most beautiful place to hang out.
And I agree with that. Like you have to take that. You have to take that. You never know where you will get at if you don't take the first step. You know, because basically I took that first step last year, but this has been on my heart for a while. I just happened to take this first step last year. So imagine if I took steps plenty more years ago, where I'd be at now. So, but I'm not worrying about that too much, because I did take the first step, and I've been coming in with different people that want to work with me, share with me, be in the same mission, because I didn't know there was a lot of people that was doing what I'm doing. So I mean, so that's a blessing right there. So that's how I met you, Linda. Now I met you, Konrad, and there's other people that I have met. So it's like basically, but I'm saying to myself, Darren, why didn't you do it before? You understand what I'm saying? So, but hey, it doesn't matter now because I did it. I'm doing it now, and that's why I say you have to be committed and consistent. Because if you're not committed and consistent, you don't know how far this can take you. You can't just start one day or say, "Well, I don't feel." It's gonna be we're all human. There's gonna be days you don't feel like doing it, but it's not what you feel like doing, because it's what you need to help people, other people do. Because let's say the day that you feel like you don't feel like doing it, somebody might be looking forward to your message, and they're like, well, why you not sharing this message that I needed? I needed that message. You don't know who is watching your messages, who is listening to your content, because that's the thing with social media. A lot of us are looking at the likes, the followers. You know what? I used to be the same way, but I don't really care about that no more, because most of the people that don't click your likes or your follows or whatever, they're the ones that's watching your material. You just don't know it. Just because they don't. I mean, who's to say that they if you click your like, or that they like your material and anything like that? You would take that into focus also. I remember one day when I was going to the store. I think I was going to Wawa one day. Me and my wife was going to Wawa, and one of my former he was a lead. He was one of the leads from a company that I was working for. And he said to me, we walked in the store. He said, "Hey there, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine." He said, "Yeah, I've been watching your videos." And I said, "You've been watching my videos?" He said, "Yeah, I said, "Okay." How do you do something? Something else he was asking me, but for some reason I was wondering. Well, I was thinking that he didn't. I was thinking that he didn't. He wasn't watching my videos. But why was I thinking that? I put it out there. So to say how can I put it? You can't prejudge nobody. Just put your material out there and share it with everyone, because you don't know whose life you're changing, who you're helping. You don't know who's watching. Like I said before, just go out there and put it out there. Take that first step and take that initiative to be committed and consistent with what you're doing. And you never know, things will escalate to a point where you like wonder, well, how did I get from here to here? It's just been your commitment and your consistency. So, and never prejudge anybody, because you never know whose lives you're touching.
You're absolutely right, Darren. Sometimes we put our things out there and we're looking for that self reflection back, or that acknowledgement, and we're thinking that, okay, we're putting out this content to make a difference, and is it or not? You know what? You just do it. I have personal experience where I didn't judge a person or persons, and they come back like a decade later, and then what they will tell you, you didn't give up on me. You stayed with the course. I couldn't voice what I needed to back then, but because you stayed with me, you didn't judge me, you helped me, even though maybe at the time I couldn't help myself. Today, that experience that we had together during that brief time has changed my whole life's trajectory. And that is why we do this work, why we show up with our gifts, and why we want to encourage others to do the same, because, not all gifts are going to be that outward facing visible thing. A lot of times they're the behind the scenes gifts, or the things that don't get that recognition, but you never know who's going to see us, what we're going to be doing that might make that difference in that one moment for that one person. And then
Absolutely.
It ripples out.
It's a ripple effect.
It
Yeah.
is.
I remember a story about I think it was called a ripple effect. But it was one day. I'm gonna briefly share the story, because I don't I'm gonna shorten it because I'm trying to remember how it goes. But there was a young man. I guess his dad was always. I forgot how it goes. I think his dad was always focused on different things all the time or whatever. And actually, the dad was at his job, and I think a woman was giving away a ribbon, and she said, the once you have the ribbon, you want to give it to somebody and tell them you love them. So he had the people. He's okay, no problem. So he put the ribbon in his pocket, and so he's busy with his activities or whatever was going on throughout the day. And so when he got home, he turned around and he was emptying out his pockets. He was emptying out his pockets and he was pulling out, and then he finally pulled out the ribbon. And so when he walked in the hallway, he saw his son come up the steps. And his mission was to give the ribbon to somebody and tell him, I love you. So he gave the ribbon to his son. When he saw his son, he said, son, I love you. And then his son, he just looked at his dad and he started weeping. And he was weeping real bad. And his dad hugged him and everything like that. And he said, son, what's wrong? He said, Dad, I was going to kill myself today because I didn't know if anybody loved me. And when you think about that, think about what you're doing right now. You know, the content that you decide that you're not putting out because you're going through something that you're going through throughout your life, and you decide, okay, I don't feel like putting out this content today. Might be the day that you really need to put that content out, but somebody might really need it. So I wanted to share that story because it was a powerful story that I heard at one time before, and I'm gonna put that in my collection of stories that I need to share with people. But when I heard that story, it's amazing because we're on a mission to help somebody, touch somebody's lives, help them to change their lives. We all got gifts, certain gifts that we need to use, and we need to use them not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of others. And once we change somebody else's life, I put it to you like this: is a quote that Jim Rohn said. He said, to help people get what you want, get what they want, you'll get what you want. So you focus on doing what you need to do, and somebody else will bless you.
And it's life shows in so many ways that sometimes those smallest of things can have the greatest effects. Sometimes it's not those big gestures that produce a certain outcome. Sometimes it's actually the small daily things.
Yes.
That people discover greatness in themselves and allow others to discover greatness in themselves too. And I'm also want to inspire here everyone who might be watching us or listening to us to think about it this way. Sometimes it doesn't need to be a big build-up to create a magnificent event or campaign or any kind of bigger social interaction. We can be our best today. Just like that. A smile will start the process. A kind word. Doing something that we feel passionate about. That's all that is needed. Just like you said in this really nice story, right? Sometimes saying somebody that we love them is already enough to change a life. And it doesn't cost a thing. As life shows us, the best things in life are available for free. So it's not the thing about the money. It's not the thing about the effort. It's just about the mindset. It's just about the willingness, the love for ourselves that then can be reflected outwards. And for that, nor do we need a wallet or any other special action. There is no need to make it complicated, maybe that would be my message. Simplicity wins the day every single day. In those smaller of things, we can discover our own humanity. In those smallest of things, whether it's a kind word to somebody working on a checkout, maybe that's a smile towards someone who is waiting at the bus stop. Those little and big things can have enormous effects on other people's lives. Not only our loved ones, but even random people. Exactly. Perhaps people will never see again. But who knows? Perhaps that smile will exactly prevent that person from taking their own life later on that day. Who knows? Maybe that thank you said at the right time with the right person will be exactly what will change the course of life of that person. And sometimes people might feel, really, they say it, that they seem that what they do is so insignificant. And yet, just as Linda beautifully portrayed, sometimes the effect isn't visible straight away. But it doesn't mean that there is no effect. Sometimes it's like that pebble that starts an avalanche. We might not see what happens next because that person or another disappears from our own life. But who knows what happened next? Who knows what goodness we have started that day? Who knows what goodness will happen for people who listen to the episode of this podcast? Who knows how we can all change, upgrade, elevate our own life and other people's lives by being our true selves today. And also finding the courage to take action, to say, I love you, to say, thank you, to say, I'm sorry. And in those little things, we might very much discover that we've had it all along. We were just denying ourselves that love. We were just denying ourselves the greatness. We were denying ourselves that sense of, I'm actually worthy, or significant, or visible, or heard, or included. And yet, once we step into our own power, we might just realize that we had it all along. And then it makes it so much easier to be that person and more every passing day. And I wonder, Darren, I wonder, what message would you like to send to people who currently are sitting on a fence, perhaps? They are wondering what to do, whether to trust in themselves or whether just to hope that maybe things will just happen by themselves.
I'm a story person, so I got to share another story. I just love stories. There was a man that was walking through an elephant camp, and he saw the elephants. He saw these real big elephants, these real big creatures, and the elephants had a rope tied around one of their legs. And the man was wondering, well, why are the elephants being tied down when they can definitely escape? And all they had was a small piece of rope tied around their leg. So there was a trainer that was in the elephant camp. And so the man was confused. So he wanted to ask the trainer. He said to the trainer, well, why are the elephants being held with this rope around their leg when they can easily escape? And the trainer looked at the man and he said, well, when they were young, they had a small piece of rope that was tied around their leg, and it was enough to hold them. But as they grew older, they were conditioned to believe they were still held by that rope. So I want to say to everybody that what rope is holding you? What rope that you need to break from your life that's going to change your life? You see, you're holding on to, you got that rope is holding on to things in your life that can help you change, that you can break free from. So I don't know who this message is for or who this story is for, but I want to let you know you had the freedom to escape from whatever it is that's holding you back in your life. Just make that one step and remove yourself from that rope and break free and live your life with purpose, discover who you truly are, and watch amazing things will happen in your life.
Thank you, Darren, for that powerful and beautiful message. I know there are so many men that need to hear this, people that need to hear this. And so I am so blessed that you joined us today to have an interview on the Men's Room Show. And you shared with me and Konrad some resources. And so I am going to share your free guide and social media links of Who Am I Starter Guide for Men, which I think is amazing. And I will share how people can contact you on LinkedIn, how they can join your Facebook page, Navigate to Your Purpose, and that community that you're building, navigating to your purpose men's community on Facebook. We're going to provide all of those resources so more men can be going on that path of discovery to finding that self-love within and living their purpose in the way that they have always been meant to do. And so thank you so much for everything that you have brought into our awareness and how men can make this happen, because it's needed. And thank you for creating that ripple effect.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate it. I'm glad that we had this talk. Yeah, but that's not just for everybody else. It's for us also, because it makes me open my eyes more and more. The more that we're learning, the more that we're sharing, the more that we're giving. So it's just an awesome thing just to have you. I thank you. Appreciate you for having me on the show, and looking forward to doing it again. Don't ever be a stranger. we're connected for life now. So it's basically saying anytime you need me, just let me know and I'll be there. We can make some arrangements, but I'm definitely available to help out in any way I can.
Thank you so much for that gift of wanting to be connected for life and for continuing to do that work that we're all doing together. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much as well, for the beautiful message. Delivered in a variety of ways. And you definitely are a stories guy, by the way. Yeah, I'm inviting you to explore it even further, right? Because a good story can be so transcendental. A good story has got so many metaphoric layers that people grasp so easily. Yeah, it conveys the message so well, and it allows, for a person to really discover themselves afresh. Yeah, it's not just information. It really is transformation.
Exactly.
And I can completely see how you can utilize also that skill set, to elevate your own life and the life of other people. And it really is, coming at a time when so many people are looking, right, for the right person to step into their life too. And I would like to think that it's just a matter of time before a person like you builds up that community even comes to mind. A community of like-minded people who then transform entire social landscape, that working on a higher level, on a higher level yet again. Personal, right? Individual action is awesome. However, I feel that you might also have that capacity, should you choose that, to take that mission to a whole new level. And, what you say is just so valuable. It's so insightful. And it's delivered in such a, friendly and likable manner that it would be of huge benefit, for you to find a way that suits you to connect with as many people as possible. And for that journey, I will keep my fingers crossed for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.